We got the twins on here, man. We got Max and fake Max all in the same place, same time. Stubble, the little hair, the little look.
No one can accuse Ryan Hollins of looking like anyone else.
Not anybody
that is true.
Not in that suit, that's my twin. You didn't know that?
Does he wear picnic tables to set too?
Yeah. As I say, Ryan Hollins dresses like the villain that's revealed at the end of a movie from like the 1800s in London somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Max and fake Max, let's get to it.
I'm about to chop you down like a big, tall redwood. I am about to beat you. I'm telling you.
Friday was ugly.
Don't make me come on this table like Jim Rome, okay?
I think it's the other way around.
It was Chris.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
That might take both of you out.
It happened. I'm about to flip this.
All right, guys, let's hold it together for just a few more minutes. Let's talk about the NBA offseason moves. It continues to take the sports world by storm. And late last week, Russell Westbrook was traded to the Rockets. He now joins forces with James Harden to form one of the league's most explosive backcourts. Ryan, how nervous should the rest of the league be about the Rockets?
Oh, man, they got to be shaking in their boots. Are you kidding me? You got Russell Westbrook and James Harden on the same team. And guess what's back for D'Antoni? Guess what's back? The 7-second offense. They're going to push the pace. They're going to run. They're no longer going to play slow. James Harden will not have to manage his minutes because he has a guy where he's tired. Your turn, Russ. Russ is tired. Your turn, James. These two are going to be absolutely dynamic. And I get it. I still like the Lakers. I still like the Clippers. But guess what? You don't want to see these boys in the first or second round. It's going to be a problem.
Look, in the late 60s, early 70s, right, or really the early 70s, the question on the New York Knicks, who'd won a championship in the recent past, was there's only one basketball. Can Earl the Pearl Monroe, who was brought in a trade, exist in the same backcourt as Walt Clyde Frazier? They both need the ball. And they could, and they won a championship. And the same question was asked about Chris Paul with James Harden. And it worked to the extent that, they came close to upsetting or getting past the Warriors, who were more or less fully loaded. They didn't have Iguodala, but they had, their top four players healthy in that series. And meantime, Rockets didn't have Chris Paul. So you're right. It's not, even if it's hard to imagine how it fits, they can make it work. But the question is, do the Clippers or the Lakers, or maybe even Denver or Utah, maybe, let's see who emerges, or Portland, maybe, have anything to really worry about? In other words, are the Rockets going to make it to the conference finals? And my answer is no, they won't. First of all, neither Westbrook nor Harden are defenders. Westbrook can defend at times, and Harden's been more disruptive in passing lanes and stuff, but they're not defenders like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, for example.
Harden led the league in deflection.
Those kind of things that can create more possessions for your team, they do. But how efficiently does Westbrook then take advantage of those possessions? It seems to me that Westbrook needs the ball here because he is not a good shooter. If Westbrook was a great shooter, he'd be the best player in the league. He's not. Harden needs the ball in order to be the player he is.
You think he's going to shoot 29% again?
No, I don't. They try, but you need to shoot better than 29 or 30 or 31%.
He would tell you that.
They've tried this in OKC when they were both on the floor at the same time. It didn't work then. That's why they knew they had to move one of them. They're better players now than they were then, but nevertheless, this is not an ideal pairing.
Max, I asked this question last week on First Take. I've been filling in for Stephen A. Smith on Stephen A. Smith radio show, and I said, when is the last time we can remember two alphas, ball-dominant alphas, who came together and were better than they were apart? And many people brought up the New York Knicks duo from some time ago, but in our lifetime, you can find alphas who gave for the team, obviously Kobe and Shaq. But to find two alphas that need the ball, I can only think in history of recent history.
LeBron and Wade.
I was going to go with Steph and KD. And Steph and KD, because Steph is so willing to play off the ball and KD was willing to fit into system. LeBron and Wade is a good example. I also think they were at different points in their career, different points in their arcs. Wade was more willing to defer to LeBron. The point is, Ryan, I don't know where you come up with this stuff. Like, this is going to be the return of 7 seconds or less. I don't know. Is that wishful thinking? Like, what about Westbrook and Harden has told you? What we're going to see is a fast offense predicated on moving the ball. These are two guys that pound the rock into the floor until they get the isolation that they want. You can wish it. You can hope it. But what about these two guys says it's going to happen?
Might they make adjustments?
The same point you just brought up, maturity. These guys aren't worried about stats and numbers. Their legacies are on the line. When you start getting around that 30-year mark, you're going, hey, man, I need a championship. I got to make something happen. D'Antoni's offense is based on principle, not plays. Russell Westbrook has never had that happen. So what do I mean by that? Russell, drive the ball to the hole. Russell and James are both top 5 in paint scoring for guards. Get into the lane, now kick out. I'm not asking you to come and set up the offense. I'm not asking you to be anything that you're not. That's why I love this. And now if I'm asking you to play at a 130-point pace, I need fresh legs. I need creators. He didn't have that. Neither of them had that with another guy. Paul George is more of a post-up isolation, little pick-and-roll guy.
But the question still is, I agree that, look, Morey did it. He understands, get the talent. Get the special players. Everyone else is just a guy. These guys are better than that. When you have a chance to get them, acquire them. And he'll be better than Chris Paul, whatever the fit, because Chris Paul's in such physical decline. Mm-hmm. Westbrook's still a spectacular athlete. So I get that. But the question is really, does Westbrook over Chris Paul, even if you're right, make them better enough that they're better than what the Lakers are going to be this season? It's the Jazz. I think the answer is no to that.
I'm not convinced.
We're looking at a one-round playoff winning team. Like, they can maybe get to the second round, maybe, but maybe not.
That's the same they did with Chris Paul. And as far as a basketball fit, Max, I hear you on the injuries. I hear you on Chris Paul's availability. But from a basketball analysis, Chris Paul is a much better fit next to James Harden than is Russ Westbrook. Chris Paul hits over 40% from three. Russ shoots 29.
But hear this, James can play off the ball. And if this is New Orleans, if this is even Clippers Chris Paul, I'm fully agreeing, but he had declined so much. So I agree with you. I mean, the way he orchestrates.
Well, now that you just said New Orleans, we have to shift to a different subject. In Zion Williamson's Summer League debut, the Pelicans pulled him from the game after he took a knee-to-knee hit to his left knee. In recent interviews with Forbes.com, Coach K said that Williamson never should have played in the Summer League to begin with, and that he didn't think he was in the shape mentally or physically. So, Max, are you concerned about Zion's health moving forward from this point?
I'm always concerned about Zion's health because he's like, when you looked at Derrick Rose back in the day, you go, I don't know if a human being is supposed to be able to move that fast. Like, that's such fast twitch. He's like, what's going to happen to his frame? And Derrick Rose was not like a brolic dude. He was, and his body could not, like his joints and stuff couldn't keep up with the kind of exertion that his muscles put on his frame. Zion Williamson is that, but plus. Zion Williamson moves in a way that a man his size is not supposed to be able to move. And like his like equipment can't keep up with it. His sneaker just burst. Because what kind of technology can take a 280-pound guy who can accelerate that quickly, stop on a dime, cut all those things? So I'm always concerned about Zion Williamson's health. Now, if he's not in basketball shape, then I agree with Coach K in the sense I'd rather see him get into basketball shape away from prying eyes. There's simply more pressure when people are watching him for him to live up to hype and put more stress on his body.
If this kid can't handle pressure, there's a problem. My biggest issue is that he didn't play. And a lot of these rookies go to Summer League, and they're sitting on the sidelines. Summer League is for rookies that go out and play and show what they can do. As far as Zion's
got to do that?
He's going to absolutely.
Zion's a rookie. He's got to show what he's got to do in the Summer League.
The thing about Zion, he needs to play as much basketball as he can. He's still developing. And the problems that we may see going into the NBA, what is Zion's position? Is he a 5? Is he a wing? Is he a ball handler, shooter? He's got to find a way to fit into the NBA.
There's nothing to worry about. Zero to worry about with Zion Williamson right now. Coach K is absolutely right. He shouldn't have played in Summer League because he wasn't in shape to play in Summer League. But please, it's Summer League. It's July. We don't start playing until no.
If he's not a finished product, you got to play basketball.
What he has is time.
Wait.
And he's got plenty of time to get in shape. And for you to respond to Max about pressure as though Summer League is some test of pressure is a joke. How many guys have we seen be all world in summer league and nowhere to be seen when it comes to regular season. I don't need to see Zion in July.
My point
I have no questions.
My point is that he shouldn't have to worry about a bad outing. Go out and play basketball. Who cares what people say? Go out, develop,
but
play.
if your body's not prepared for that, then that's where the problem is.
Right. And there are two issues I hear. One with you, Will, like there's nothing to worry about. Are you not worried about Zion's injury, considering what I mentioned, considering what we've already seen?
No, I'm not worried.
Hurt in college because his sneaker explodes?
No, I'm not
because
worried about
think
it.
about his
It's
body
different. It's
like
different.
that sneaker. You can only exert so much force on the human skeletal frame. This dude is different.
He had a knee-to-knee contact in summer league. They're being extremely cautious.
As they should.
There's no reason to think that Zion all of a sudden is an injury risk.
I'm always worried about that because, as I said, when you have that kind of fast twitchy and that kind of frame, I'm always like, if his body can hold together. In terms of the position, it doesn't matter. Like when you talk about positions in basketball, the Bobby Knight story I always bring up with Michael Jordan, right? Portland already has Drexler. They need a center. Call Bobby Knight. Hey, what should we do with the draft? Should we draft a center? And he said, no, draft Michael Jordan. But we need a center. Draft Jordan, play him at center. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what position Zion plays. Don't get hung up on that.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
Can I ask you a question?
Does he handle the ball well? Does he shoot? Like, these are things he'll tell you he's got to do.
We'll defer to you on what position he's playing. So we know that you know something about this, right? Last week, you know a thing or two about video, too. Last week, did you know, Max, he came out here and he showed pictures of my collegiate water polo career. And then, I had to respond in kind with his basketball reference page.
Water polo stuff.
So I got something new for you, all right?
Okay.
I got something new, Ryan. I want you to check out this video right here.
Uh-oh.